Hey guys, Mama Sam here again. So the last video I made, it was probably the biggest video I've ever had. I got 50 views in 2 days. That's really, really good for me because I only have 33 subscribers, which I gained 2 subscribers in 2 days. So thank you guys so much for subscribing. So it was really nice to see not only that it had a really nice view count, but it also had a lot of people giving some suggestions. And so I will go ahead and go over those in this video as well. And this video, I took notes in the last one because I just wanted to go a little bit more in depth. I gave you guys a real quick rundown, but I wanted to like break down some of the stuff. So it's not going to be like all of the symptoms. It'll be like one symptom, I'll explain it in this video, and then another one and stuff like that. Because there was a lot on this journey. I was just really giving a really quick review of it, but there was so much more to it than that. Before we get started, though, I do just want to say I have a GoFundMe. It is called Help Mama Sam Find Answers. I'll put the link in the description below. If you can help me out, that would be great. It's to help me be able to afford going to my doctors. I've had to drop a lot of procedures I was supposed to have because I couldn't afford them. I lost my insurance when I lost my job, and my husband's insurance doesn't cover quite like mine did. So yeah, if you can help out, please do. If you can't, don't worry about it. Also, if you would like me to share your stories of your journey, your chronic illness, whatever you're going through, you can send those to sharewithmamasam@gmail.com, and I would be more than happy to read them and discuss them here. So I just wanted to start off by addressing the comments I got, which they were super helpful. They were great. I was so happy to actually be reaching outside of my circle now, because most of everything has been like my immediate family and really close friends. So now it's nice to know that I'm extending out. So I had a Mia D, I'm so sorry if I'm not saying it right, D Arienzo, who gave me some very kind words, and then also told me about a show called Diagnosis on Netflix. And when I read that, it was just so funny because I have actually watched that show completely because I was like hoping that somebody would have a case similar to mine. And if you have watched the show, there's actually the very first episode of season 1. I don't know if there's more seasons than that. The girl in there, she actually had a lot of the same symptoms I did, but I know that it's different than what I'm going through, but it was just very interesting to see. And her problem was solved by merely just by changing the way she ate. So it was very interesting. So yes, I have seen that show. She suggested that I contact the main doctor of the show. I have actually done that, and I haven't heard anything back. So that's something that I'll have to follow up on again. So thank you so much, Mia, for your response. I also had a response from a Kaylin Halamondaris. Am I doing this right? She had mentioned something called thunderclap headaches, which I thought was really interesting. I started to research a little bit more. They're very serious. They usually are indicators that there's a serious issue going on. However, I went to the Mayo Clinic to to read about what that is. And I don't think that that's what I was suffering from, mainly because those come on very sudden, and usually they're accompanied by like seizures, and it has something to do, I think, with, there was a lot, but intracranial hypertension. I was tested for all those. I had probably like 6 MRIs in a span of like 6 months. I had a lumbar puncture to make sure that my fluids were okay, and they were. So I did go through that. She said that it sounds like a spinal fluid of leaking or building up if it's better when you get up versus sit down. I have always thought that maybe something happened with my spine during the lumbar puncture, because the lumbar puncture was really, really rough. It took them over 2 hours. They couldn't get fluid out. And I always wondered if they did something and messed it up. So I had mentioned that to my doctor at the Mayo Clinic. So they did a scan, an MRI. They checked for like it was called a low pressure type headache MRI, and it came back normal. So actually were able to rule out any problems with my CFS, I think it's what it's called. Or no, CSF. She also mentioned that I need to eat better, which she's 100% right. Um, yeah, not eating. I mean, come on. It's going to make you feel worse. And it's something that I just struggle with all the time because I just don't really feel hungry. And even just now, I ate a waffle with some bacon. I wasn't really hungry. I just ate it because I know what I'm supposed to eat. So I'm thinking that I need to, it's been a long time since Mama Sam has tried to eat healthier, lose weight. So I'm thinking I need to kind of research a little bit and try to start eating. I need to take advantage of not having such a strong appetite. Now I can really eat better the way that I'm supposed to. So I need to take advantage of that. And I'm sure changing that is going to help big time with some things. It's not going to cure me, but it will probably help a little bit in some areas. I'm thinking particularly my energy levels. So the main issue I want to talk about today is going to be my stomach issues and a little bit just more in depth on how that started and what was going on there. Because that is definitely the biggest problem that I suffer from as of now. So I remember, like I had said, I don't remember the exact date, but as I was starting to get up and move around more, I was trying to eat. I really wasn't hungry. Like I said, my appetite disappeared while I was in the hospital. And not only did it I just wasn't hungry. Whenever I would eat after that, I didn't need a lot. There would be some days when I would just eat a few crackers and that was fine. Or my husband would bring me home like a sandwich or something and I would eat, maybe a quarter of it and that would be enough. So it's almost like I had kind of a food aversion as well, like where it'd be like, I can't eat this, it's going to make me sick. So eventually one day this only happened, oh my gosh, knock on wood. This only happened 1 or 2 times leading up to my stomach issues. So I remember I took a bite and instantly, as soon as I swallowed, I had unbelievable stomach pain. It was like somebody was just stabbing me with a knife as soon as I swallowed. And I'm like, what on earth is going on? So my husband and me went to Olive Garden, I think that night or either the next night. And I took a bite I ordered chicken marsala. And I remember I took one bite of the chicken and it was that instant pain as soon as I swallowed again. And I was like, I can't eat. It's like somebody is just stabbing a knife in my upper stomach and just twisting, like I can't eat. And so I started to get even more freaked out because I went from just feeling like I didn't want to eat, but when I did eat, I'm like, I don't really want this, to actually feeling physical pain just from swallowing a small little piece of chicken. So that was when I talked to my primary care physician, and then they sent me to a GI doctor. And that was when I got all of the scans, the HIDA scan, the endoscopy, the colonoscopy, and they didn't find anything. They did find that I have he said it's a very small, like it doesn't even need anything, it doesn't require anything, very small hiatal hernia. And then also that he discovered a few polyps that he removed and was kind of worried because he said that those can lead to stomach cancer, which I didn't know. And I asked him like what you do to avoid that. And he pretty much said there's nothing you can do. Basically, I just have to keep getting a colonoscopy. He said basically we'd have to do that like every 3 years to remove them. That is something that I need to be able to do. However, because of my financial situation, the last time I went to get my colonoscopy, I couldn't afford it. So I had to turn it down. So it's been probably just a year since my last colonoscopy. So I think I can still wait like a year or two, but it just sucks. The first time I had my scans and stuff, I was still employed, so I still had my health benefits, and then my husband of course had his, so we were double covered, so we didn't pay a dime. Then when I lost my insurance and we went to go get the colonoscopy, they're like, well, it's going to be $800 up front, and I'm like, I don't have that kind of money. I don't even have any cards I could put that on. Like, we just don't have that. We are really struggling, like, right now, living paycheck to paycheck because my husband's the only one bringing in income. So anyway, that was what really kicked off the whole stomach thing. That, like I said, thankfully only happened a couple times with a really sharp stabbing pain in my stomach, and then gradually turned into these terrible cramps in my, and it was upper quadrant. It's not lower, it's upper. And that was when I was getting those pains, like in November and December, and that was when I was going to the emergency room. Sorry, I just drank coffee and now I'm like full of air. I went to the emergency room. They did the CT scans. All 3 times I went to the emergency room, there was nothing. They were just saying that there's nothing there, nothing showing up on the scans. And they were just saying, you know, you're just going to have to keep following up with your GI doctor and letting him know what's going on. And I'm thinking, I'm in so much pain. Like, I don't know where else to go other than the emergency room when you're in that much pain. So I had to just kind of deal with it. Like, and it really sucked because I had gotten really accustomed to just dealing with like the head pressure and the dizziness, and I'm really weak and everything. And I didn't have an appetite, but I could still eat. Now I'm dealing with all of this, like severe stomach pain. And it's so different than the head stuff. Like, what's worse? The head pressure and the dizziness, or constantly feeling like you're going to get sick and having stomach pain? Like, they're both really awful. So that, I think that about is it for the whole stomach issues. On a day-to-day basis, I have the Zofran, the dicyclamine, and the pantoprazole. So I take those as needed. So my doctor was like, well, you might have IBS. And I'm like, since when? Like, I've never had issues with my stomach until now, until after my dramatic whatever happened to me for 2 months. And I was in the emergency room with my head's going crazy. I never had stomach problems before that. You can look at me. I was obviously a very healthy eater. So, and then all of a sudden I'm not. And like, and when I say healthy, I mean like, healthy appetite. I don't mean like I eat healthy, because I don't eat healthy. I didn't eat healthy. I still don't eat healthy. So that's pretty much it. Yes. Like I said before, if you can donate to my GoFundMe, please do. And also, if you would like to share your stories, I would love to read them. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.